McCausland will today announce plans to tackle deprivation in 5 areas of Belfast and 1 in Ballymena. But in an initiative with a difference in that it aims to allow local people to take control of how their own communities are shaped and regenerated. The idea being that those who live there will come up with solutions for reversing the decline that affects their own lives. We'll be talking to the Minister in a moment, but first we go to Old Park, one of the areas in question, and our reporter Andy West. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning to you. Yes, I'm standing on Avoca Street now. It's freezing cold, but from where I am standing, I can see at the end of the road, just the start there of a peace line, and around that peace wall, and around that peace wall are a number of abandoned houses. And as well as that, at the end of the street, there's an empty field that's been standing there derelict and unused for 25 years, even though it was marked for housing. So we're in an area here next to the community centre where people are coming and trying to improve where they live. And they might be hoping that this regeneration programme is going to allow them to do that. There's 6 areas selected for the pilots for this programme are at Belfast's Lower, Old Park and Hillview, Divis, Albert Street, Tigers Bay, Mount Collier, Shankill, Brown Square, Anderstown and Dury Road in Ballymena. Now, I'm joined by Pastor Brian Madden, who was born and raised in Tigers Bay. And you can probably guess, in fact, he's a pastor. He's interested in the well-being of the local community. Morning, Brian.
Morning, Ollie.
And also Ian McLaughlin, who's a community development worker based in Shankill. Ian, if I can come to you first, this area where we're standing now is in genuine need of regeneration.
Absolutely. This area has been has missed the regeneration boat for many years. I suppose today's announcement by the Minister, this community would hope that it would be the start of positive regeneration for the heart of their community, which will hopefully encourage people to move back into Lower Old Park.
I mean, specifically talking about this area, what could be done to try and improve the lives of people here?
Well, let's be clear, housing-led regeneration is only a small part of the wheel. There are huge issues to be faced in many working class communities within the city, and I think this initiative will do one thing: it will bring the community together with a statutory family to map a way forward for this community.
Are you talking about community involvement? I've got here some detail on this regeneration programme. Membership of regeneration forums will be sought from the housing executive, elected representatives, council officials, housing associations and representatives from education, health and the voluntary and community sector. It doesn't say specifically there the word residents.
Well, I would imagine that the residents will make their voice known. And I think it would be quite rude for anyone to come in and regenerate a community without the full involvement of the residents. And the residents, I hope, and I'm quite sure they'll take their place at that table.
Pastor Brian, if I could ask you, I was talking to you earlier and you were saying that local people involved in these regeneration projects are likely to come to it with a slight sense of, I've heard this before.
Yeah, quite possibly, because the regeneration boat, as Ian said, is sailed out of Tigers Bay, Mount Collier as well. We have similar, almost exactly the same situation mirrored. We've got fields, we've got peace walls, and we've got a lot of dereliction. And a lot of people have moved out of the community because the heart's been ripped out of the community.
If the answer that the regeneration project is offering in reality is material things, is spending money to buy, I don't know, pay for a new car park or pay for better windows in houses, is that actually going to make a real difference if actually the problem in the communities is unemployment or division?
Well, it's part of the problem. It will help part of the problem. An example I could give to you is that some new houses were opened up again in the Limestone Road, which is an interface, and people from outside the community moved into those houses. So there's the proof that if you do build quality housing, people will come back into the area, and that's what my hope is with regards to this programme. And as Ian says, we need a holistic approach. I'm quite confident the residents too will make their voice known, and they need to be fully involved.
If you're talking about a holistic approach, that means everyone working together. I mean, we are talking here about communities that are historically divided. I mean, that's a challenge in itself.
It's always a challenge. This is North Belfast. North Belfast is a challenge. But I think the people have just had enough. They're desperate for something to happen. And I really believe that they will come together and give it a shot.
And Ian, I'll ask that to you as well. Do you worry maybe that community division might once again stop the redevelopment from really helping these communities?
No, absolutely not. In welcoming the holistic approach, I would encourage the community to take a holistic approach. We must come together and we must work with government to have the proper regeneration in these communities that we have so long craved. It's important to say some of the areas, primarily in inner city Belfast, you refer to, haven't had the positive peace dividend that we have all looked forward to. I feel this is an opportunity to make that happen.
OK, from Avoca Street, Pastor Brian Madden, Ian McLaughlin and me, Andy West, back to the studio.